thank you again for another opportunity to come together and do the business of this great city that you've placed us in. Give us wisdom to make sound decisions. Give us grace and mercy in realizing that we're dealing with people and their lives, and make us good stewards of what you've given to us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we call the meeting to order, Patrick, you weren't here. My brother-in-law went into emergency surgery at St. Mary's about 4 o'clock today, so if I leave quickly, I'm not talking to anyone. I'm just going back to see my sister and he. So apologies for anybody who needs to talk to me after the meeting. Please call or text otherwise. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order for February 17th. Council members, you have minutes from February 3rd meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve those unless you have amendments.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes from February 3rd. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Mr. Porter, is anybody signing in to speak tonight?
No, sir.
Okay, so we'll move right on into department updates. You guys have a number of things, and there's some things that the chief and Jason are going to talk about later on the agenda, which I'll save for those items. But I will tell you that there's a number of things. If you've seen the traffic on social media, Brandy and Andre both are planning big springs and summers. There's a lot of activities already planned out. Wine Festival is already being planned, and also, just so you know, Fall Fest is being planned as well. So there's a lot on their plates and just traffic in City Hall. So if there's any questions, comments, feel free to ask Danny, Jason, or otherwise. Please continue to send texts and emails about things you see around town. We do not have old business this evening. We do have some new business. The first is consideration of a bid award for police radios. We have 2 bids, and I'm going to let the chief speak to those.
Yeah, so we put out a sealed bid for 28 new portable radios for the police department. And these radios have to meet certain public standards, certain public safety standards. They have to be P25 capable, which means they have to be digital, because we're having a digital repeater put in. They have to have encryption capabilities, and they have to work with that current repeater system in make and model. And they have to have a minimum battery capacity. And so we received 2 bids from that, 2 sealed bids, one from Electronic Services and one from a company called Mobile One Communications. Electronic Services is out of Taze Valley, and Mobile One Communications is out of Florida. Both companies offer radios that meet our operational needs and would work with our system that we're putting in. Mobile One's bid was $106,624, and Electronic Services bid was slightly lower at $104,874. Mobile One does include in their bid a 20% cooperative purchasing discount, which brings their total to about $85,000. So on the surface, that price seems attractive. However, there are a couple things that Mark and I have talked about, and I just want to make sure we understand those things before we make a decision. First, our bid requirement was for 4,000 milliampere hours. Okay, that's basically the life of the battery. That's the gas tank of the battery. That tells how long the radio can run before it needs to be recharged. It's a fuel tank. Mobile One, the company with the discount, listed a 3,900 milliamp battery. That's a small difference, about 3%, not huge, but technically it doesn't meet the written requirements unless we choose to waive that requirement. The second factor that we have to consider is Mobile One proposal includes their company's outside terms of service as part of the contract. So that could bring additional legal language beyond what we normally agree to in these bids. So it would require more clarification and more review and a deeper dive into exactly what they're asking for this discount if we decide to move forward with them. Electronic Services, however, appears to meet the specifications exactly as they were written and doesn't include any outside contractual language. So we can go with the bid that clearly meets the specs as written, which is the simplest and most defensible route, I think. Or if you want to pursue the Mobile One proposal because of the discount pricing, we would need to get clarification. We'd have to do a deeper dive into exactly what that discount entails.
Chief, based on what you have in front of you, is your recommendation to work with Electronics and Services out of Taze Valley, based on what you've been presented?
Yes, it is.
So you've heard the request from the chief. The recommendation from the powers that be, in this case, is to accept the bid from Electronic Services out of Taze Valley.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion or questions?
Was this was about what we expected anyway, in the price range anyway, either way on that, wasn't it?
Yes.
I think it's a benefit to have somebody that comes if there's an issue.
Local, yeah.
I mean,
That's
just
right.
shipping it back and all that kind of stuff will be.
I'm always for a little.
The chances of every one of them working all the time.
Any further discussion, questions? Hearing none, the motion is to accept the bid from Electronic Services. If there's no other discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Before we jump into item B, I want to drop back to Jason and Danny. I know you're here for a specific purpose, so we probably should have done this under updates and comments, but I'll let you guys speak to, you had talked about a bucket truck. I'll let them speak to this, but as you guys know, several years ago, we kind of band-aided the situation. We had our bucket truck go. We bought one in a very quick manner that was used. I'm gonna let Danny and Jason kind of summarize where we are with that, with what's going on now.
We've had several maintenance issues with the bucket truck we have, and we bought it used, and it's, I forget how old it is, but I'll let Jason tell you all the details about what's wrong with the one we got. But anyway, a bucket truck, very important for our use, especially for traffic signal lights. When they go out, we have to stop what we're doing and go fix them, so. Anyhow, Jason, you wanna fill us in?
Sure.
On
I wanna make mention of one other thing too. We replaced the light poles out on Payton Street. Light poles were installed by the developer several years ago, were taller than what we have ordered to replace now, and they were actually obsolete. So we're still maintaining some street lights of our own, so that will also help these guys, in addition to Christmas lights and banners and things of that nature. We're kind of in need of what they're asking for, so I'm gonna let you kind of summarize what's.
So our current bucket truck is a 2008, it's a Dodge Ram 5500. Like they said, we bought it used when we did buy it. We knew that was just a Band-Aid, and eventually we were gonna have to purchase a new one. This one's at just over 200,000 miles. 2008 Dodge Rams are notorious to have transmission issues. This one's already starting to slip a little. Not to where we're not able to get out and do the jobs that we need to do, but it is gonna be a pricey fix here in the near future with that truck. Also, the pictures I've included is the bed structure, which everything, you know, we're putting somebody in a lift that's going up 45 foot high, and on something that's got this much rust damage throughout it, I feel it's necessary just to keeping our guys safe. You guys have done an excellent job of keeping us with really nice equipment. This is our next big priority item that we're in need of currently. Most of the bids that I've got in so far are around $180,000 to $200,000 to purchase one new. I'm thinking we're gonna end up more toward the 180 range with the simple fact that we're not in need of one that has an insulated bucket like the AEP would have to have for working on power lines. So I'm thinking it's gonna come in on the lower end of that. If you, like I said, if you look through all of the pictures here, it's got a lot of rust damage, and as far as the bucket goes, it's due for a new inspection too. And also trying to be proactive. To have a truck like this built, it normally takes anywhere from 10 months to 12 months to get one in. So even if we purchased it today, we're still looking at utilizing our other one for the next 10 months. And I'm open to any questions you guys have about it.
How many miles, do you recall how many miles were on it?
When we purchased
when
it,
you purchased it?
I don't.
It's just hard to imagine, Patrick, it's hard hard to imagine that a bucket truck could get 205,000 miles
Yeah, well,
in 100 years.
It was purchased from AEP. Well, AEP was the one that got rid of it, and as big of a company and as
Okay,
much
so
as
they
they
do go
utilize
away.
those,
Okay, that-
they know when the time to get rid of them is gonna be, and then they put them up for auction.
I got you.
Our instance, we do utilize it a lot, but it's not a piece of equipment that we run every day. By
You travel
purchasing
from
a new one currently, I foresee it living long past my career here.
Yeah.
By going with a newer one and knowing what we got, and our guys do a phenomenal job of taking care of our equipment. I invite any of you guys to come over and take a look at all of the nice things that you guys have approved us to be able to work with, and it's really made a big difference, you guys getting us the equipment that we need to make our job easier.
What did we pay for that?
For this bucket truck, this was before I was, in there,
No,
I
I
wanna
don't,
say
I don't
around
recall,
40
I
or
just,
50.
I know that we needed it and we got it because it was time for a project and the other one was gone.
So we would get 20 out of it, maybe, I mean, like, if we put it out. to
I would assume, that's hard to tell because
Right,
auctions are just
New-
really.
new,
We'll get
yes.
something out of it.
New,
Yes.
yeah.
Can of paint on it.
I mean, you're gonna get
Can of paint.
longevity out of one, then you're gonna get something out of the purchase of the other one at auction.
Turn the odometer back a little.
Yeah, roll back.
Has,
So they'll bring back a recommendation to us
Right.
at a later date. It's more of an update for you guys as to why we're seeking that out.
Yeah, and while we're talking about,
Yeah, sure.
is there, I mean, this vehicle doesn't go out every day, it is needed and used often in the village though.
Yeah, every time we put banners up, every time.
But while
Christmas
it's
lights
sitting,
goes
do we
up.
have a good place to keep it, so we do get 20 years out of this one? Like,
Um,
a more, you know, I know we're not the,
Right, if you look
we
at
have the
any
most
fleet,
closed spaces, but.
that's not something that you typically keep under a covered roof. I mean, I would love to keep everything that we have under a covered roof. By, ordering those shipping containers to get a lot of that storage alleviated, we've gotten room for a lot of the equipment that I think is necessary to keep underneath of a roof. We're still planning on building our 3-bay garage coming up, which is, again, you wanna create more space for things like that. I don't foresee that being one that's parked underneath of a roof. Keeping the bucket good and protected, there's a cover that goes off of them, those stay on all the time that it's not in use. I'd love to have the ability to cover everything over there, but.
So right now, with what we have, it's not the priority to cut.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
alright.
Thank you guys for the update. Any other questions, comments, otherwise? If not, we will move to item B, which is you have reappointments and an appointment to the building commission. I'm gonna be honest with you, we kind of search high and low to find people to fill positions, and Rich DeHart, who lives in, Deer Creek, thank you, has agreed to serve on the building commission alongside Roger Call and Jason Gu. So we'll be reappointing 2 of those and appointing Rich DeHart as the new appointment, and I'll entertain a motion to do so.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll get him sworn in just as quickly as we can. We'll get in contact with Rich and, do we have to re-swear in the other 2? Okay. So then, you need to get hold of the other 2 as well. That's the end of our agenda. I appreciate you guys coming. I don't have anything myself, but we'll start on your end tonight, Donnie.
Oh, I don't have, much anything, I was just wondering, if you had any updates, probably not about the school, the Barboursville School Park?
We have, I'll tell you that there's nobody out there now, and we've asked for the property. It's still, can't give away too much, it's still in limbo. I think we stand the best chance of being just awarded the property because it's in the middle of our park. There's some things that have to go through. Mark and I worked on the left side of the park and still working on the veterans property as well, but it goes to the Department of Ag, and that used to be agricultural property. There's been several appointments, reappointments, and vacancies at the state level, and the governor's not been too keen on making immediate appointments. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of jobs that are just kind of left open right now. I'm speaking correctly, right? So while I am hopeful and I'm optimistic about us obtaining that property, I'm just not sure what the timeline is gonna be at this point. I think based on my conversations over the last 2 weeks, the priority is more focused on our lagoon and that backs up to the highway department. That's been put back on the stove and I'm more, I don't mean this the way it sounds, but that's developable property for us. If they let that sit, I don't want it to deteriorate, but I'd rather have that developable property that we can sell to a developer and do something out there with than making a knee jerk and just giving it to us and we have to spend a bunch of money up front. But I think it's a definite possibility.
There's some, potential for.
Yes, it absolutely does.
But along those lines, and maybe I'm just, need informed on this, but, did the state, because of the school, take care of the road out
That's
there?
a
Or
Department
has
of
always
Highways
been on
road
us?
anyway.
Huh?
That road going through the park is a Department of Highways road anyway, and has been. I didn't know that either until, I think maybe you told, one of the two of you told me, or before, but
Will that end if they abandon the school?
that's not been discussed. I'll just be honest with you, it's not been a discussion point. That's a good question to ask, and I'm gonna make a note of that right now. But it has not been discussed here before.
Okay,
No.
but, they had taken care of it before, in
Well,
addition to us, or who
paving,
salted it?
we salt it. We take care of all the snow removal out
Okay.
there from start to finish.
Okay.
But as far as the pavement goes, and I can't remember the last time it was paved, can you?
Yeah.
When was it?
I remember when it was paved.
Well-
I don't remember how many years, but.
I'm not gonna make a joke.
The school, well, the road, DOH property line ends at the school, and you can tell a distinct difference in the pavement, old pavement.
Oh, you mean going out to the,
Yes.
yeah.
So from the school on out is ours.
But we've been clearing it. I mean,
Yeah, I didn't know.
pavement wise, he's spot on, but Danny's been here a long time, so he's seen a lot of roads. But I'll make that ask, Donnie, when we're entering into those
All right,
negotiations.
that's just curious about it. That's all I got tonight.
I think that came up when we were trying to put a speed bump in actually. for
Right,
some
yes,
speed
it did.
bump. That's when
People were asking about
really
speed bumps,
realized
right.
they
I'll
said-
do it today. Get on Facebook about every day.
I know it's not priority, I'm not complaining about the snow, it's what it's gonna sound like, but do we have equipment that can do a smaller footprint like a sidewalk? Do we have anything
We
actually?
have a
capable?
bend track that has a broom on it.
But it-
Typically, we would have got out and hit those, but the way that the weather hit and it rained on top of it, it turned to
Right,
ice.
and it wouldn't move it after it was.
It wasn't moving after that, just keeping the roads clear enough to just about everybody that we
I
had.
understand, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
this go around,
No,
it's
no, I
not
totally
priority,
get it.
but I just wanna make sure we did have something capable. I just noticed a lot of people,
The bridge
on those
also.
that weren't able to use sidewalks were in the road a
Right.
lot, and it was, I'm sure this was everywhere you
Yeah.
look, city-wise.
Right.
It was an issue, but I just was thinking about equipment, make sure we did have something that was capable
Yeah.
for
It was
normal.
last year, I think was the first time that we had.
Okay, we have the broom on the
To
big
be
truck.
able to get
Okay.
onto sidewalks.
Okay, that's all I have.
Speaking of the road, since you're here, what an amazing job you did.
Thank you.
Everybody, it was just, we were more than just the top of town, we were top of the state, so, thank everyone for all their hard work, because I know that was not a 9 to 5 job, Monday through
Right.
Friday with all that going on, much appreciated, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming and explaining all this, I appreciate it, thank you all for coming tonight. I know we don't say the S word right now, but I'm going to, snow.
Yeah.
Do we have,
I thought she was gonna say the other S word.
no.
Salt. I thought you
Enough
were gonna say
salt for that.
That double S.
Yeah, the double S.
The state was kind enough to give us 100 tons, or loan us 100 tons, and we'll be paying it back once we get resupplied, but, you're not, besides borrowing from the state, there's really no other options right now. Everybody on the eastern seaboard, I sat in my office right after this hit, and I knew that it was gonna be a problem, and I called everybody all the way down clear past Georgia, to all the different salt, distribution places, and all of them told me it was gonna be spring before they got any more salt.
Really?
It made such a big impact in such a large area. Everybody was pulling, everything that they could get, and if you didn't have the numbers to meet that, or you didn't reserve more than what you typically expected. The salt game's kinda tricky, because you have to order the salt a year in advance.
Yeah.
So you never know, there's some years that we don't hardly put anything, if we even use any at all. And with only having the 300-ton storage that we have now, it's really a gambling game from year to year. That's why this new salt bin that we're gonna be constructing is really gonna be a game changer for us to not put ourselves in that position anymore.
That's all I have, thank you.
Thank you all for being here, I appreciate it. Jason, thank you for coming and explaining everything, and I also appreciate your hard work. It doesn't go unnoticed, and I appreciate you going with everything that's thrown at you every day, and that's not easy all the time, but you do a great job. Thank you.
I'll just say one other thing, Danny, thanks for your contacts at the DOH for helping us out with salt. We were able to help out the Board of Education a little bit too, and they owe us a little bit of salt, not a bunch, but they still owe us a little bit too, but, keeping things in check, over the storm. Hopefully, there's only one, we can stand one more event, not multiple, but, you guys have done a great job managing it, so I appreciate that. Is there anything else to come before the council tonight? If there's not, thank you everyone for coming. Meeting's adjourned.